Can you see that the dawn's early light was so proudly we had the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and rugged the monster's gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sailors that star-spangled banner yet wave, for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And there we are, live and in color here. How we
We're
doing,
live,
Jamie?
baby. We're live.
All right, before we get going, though, we're going to start with this so we don't forget it.
Yeah.
Second Amendment, because that's what this is all about. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. There. It doesn't get any clearer, does it?
It doesn't
And-
to me, Clay, but we know there's a
Yeah.
certain political party that almost everyone in there loves to.
Yeah, the commie Democrats, they hate guns. They hate the Second Amendment. I think they hate freedom. I mean, as a whole, they're losing their minds, since the election. And yeah, hey, good evening, Trampus. Good to have you on board. Brian Warner, good evening, fellow MVEs. Josh Patterson, 18 wheels and a dozen 6-shooters. So let's get the party started. Yeah, good evening, everybody. Waylon Turnus, good to have you here. Quick announcement, everybody. The 2A day, range day, we were planning over at Wayland Little Eagles over by Bullhead. I guess it's officially been canceled. We've had so much rain here, and I'm not complaining. The rain's been fantastic, right? I mean, we're tipping over 8 inches here through this last
That's
storm.
unreal. You got that much.
We're for the year. We're just over 12 inches already for this spring. We get what 10 to 12, maybe 14 inches the whole year. And we've got that already this spring. So things are looking pretty good.
That's crazy.
But so if you can get into Wayland's place, great. I might still try on Saturday, but I actually took a little cruise south here, and oh my goodness, the county roads had tore up something more. I mean, bad. Either way,
save that for hunting season when it rains to go down there.
Yeah, I think they're worse. And then going into Wayland's place is literally a 2-track trail after you get past a certain point, and so I'm probably not even going to make it over. I know that Chris Brownell, he's going to be coming in from Minnesota tomorrow, but yeah, I just don't see it happening. I still, he's got my antelope target, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's right. We need that for contests.
I know. I mean, nothing else. He'll leave it at Wayland's. And
I mean, if anything, Clay, honestly, when I go there this summer, my mom and I'll be taking my niece on. I can probably swing in there and grab it. So.
Yeah, no, that'd be. We'll figure it out. I'm not.
That little sucker will be dragging tail. Then you know.
I will tell you that we're looking now, which is kind of nice. Mark Lefebvre, I believe is how you pronounce his name. Mark, if I got that wrong, sorry.
Lefebvre?
He's a longtime shooter. Him and Gene Cox had a gun shop together in Mulbridge. June 7th. He's going to be there from the 31st to the 7th, but we're looking at all kind of meeting up there, all of us that can on the 7th, and do a little shooting on his range. I'm telling you, Jamie, I don't think Highway 12 will be open for a week or more. it's bad. I mean, they
That's
tore
the one
that
that
thing
goes
up.
east and west there when I come to your place.
Yeah.
That thing was rough, and you told me it ain't much better. So yeah, with all that rain on that thing,
Yeah, it's even worse because they pulled everything off and then they disc deep into the base to rebuild the base so they could bring more in. It's just mud. I mean, you can't even get through there hardly with a 4-wheel. Well, I don't even know if we could get through there with a 4-wheel drive. But
hey, and my buddy Kelly, howdy Kelly, he's
good
down
to have you,
Black
Kelly.
Hills there. Appreciate you
All right.
tuning in, buddy.
Awesome. I got contacted by the NRA rep. They got a new one for South Dakota and Wyoming. They're trying to get the Rapid City Friends of NRA event going again. So we'll see how that goes. I might try to help him out there.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's just a lot of moisture. We had to cancel it, unfortunately, as far as officially. Some guys are still going to try to make it, and I hope they have a great time. But hey, that's the way it goes, right?
Hey Kelly, what's the moisture look like down the Black Hills? You guys gonna get muddy on the side by sides down there or what? I know he was worried about that because some. Oh yeah, remember you came in the lab there. Scotty Mock was gonna go down, and he said they called him and told him. I think they told him not don't you can. They said you. I think they said you can, but hey, Joe Havens, what's up, brother? Thanks for clicking in, man. Yeah, they think they told him that at Shade Hill there. They wouldn't. I think they said we wouldn't want you to come out to just rip. Everything was so soaked up there. Didn't want, which I guess I understand, right? You don't want it getting freaking ripped to shit. So, you know,
Gene, he says Mark shoots for a week straight, and that's what Mark was saying. So we'll see. I know that getting to his place there, it's south of Hettinger, around that lodgepole area, but the guys that would be coming in from the north won't affect them because they can hop on and head straight over there to Hettinger. But again, if you gotta get past Watauga to Morristown, good luck. You're gonna have to go north and take Highway 21 and work your way up. And if you gotta go south, you gotta go all the way down to 20. So that's just the way it's gonna be. All
right, Clay. Before we get going, one more thing. If you guys are tuning in, if you're not gonna hang around for the whole show, if you're just cruising through, make sure you hit that like button. And if you're feeling really generous, go ahead and hit subscribe too. And if you're feeling like you had too many to drink, go ahead and share it.
And we do have the QR code up. Go ahead and scan that.
Yeah,
really easy
if you're drinking beer and doing shots, hit that.
That's always
QR
the best
code.
time to do that. When you get feeling good and generous, just hit that scanner and then drop us 100 or something.
Yeah, anyway, we'll take a 10, Clay.
Yeah, there you go. And on the YouTube channel, we did add a thing because we've been able to monetize for a while. So to monetize it, and we haven't pushed it. We really haven't. Neither Jamie or I have. We're going to start doing that. You got to reach a threshold of earning at least $10. I just went through this with my son, and he's making us look stupid, man. He's less than 9 months, 13,500 some subs, and he's already made $700+ Good for him. But at least I kind of know the ropes now. And so we're just trying to get it so that we at least can hit that threshold and then start with the other monetization things that we can do. So there's a membership if you want to do that, and then we're going to try to make that a little better. I think there's a $2.99 one, and the highest one's like $10, and then that's a reoccurring monthly thing. We'd sure appreciate it. We get enough guys to do that. It really helps keep the bills paid around.
Or gals.
Or as one guy will listen to, the fellas or fellettes. So anyway,
hey, I mean, like 20? I think on YouTube, like 28% of our subscribers are ladies. So
yes, I've seen that. Dead Wolf says, "Share. I can. However, are you sure you want to be seen with me?" Hey, Dead Wolf, we're fine with that. We're just fine. Share away, let it happen, and spread the word. You know how these algorithms work on this stuff. It's all about subscribers, views, and that's how they push the advertising, and that's how you can monetize. And let's just face it, the world goes around with money. That's just the way it is. And we've got sponsors, and we love our sponsors. Lauer Auto's been with us since day one. Bloodline's been right there with us as a top sponsor. So, hey, we do appreciate all our sponsors, but we don't want to put all that on them either. So, all right.
Yeah.
Are we through all that?
We are. Oh, so Clay's going to be probably going solo on Mitchell in the morning Friday. Todd's out, and I don't think that Iron Mike's too much into his. I'm not saying he doesn't like the Second Amendment. I just don't think that's his jam. So I think
Right.
It doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to join Clay. You never know, but yeah, Clay looks like he's going solo Friday. I mentioned in the morning.
And I had thought about going up there, but that plan changed. I didn't realize our eye appointments were on Friday on the other side of the state. Where Dan Brown's at over there in that Dickinson area. So I got to head that way. But I'm going to turn it more into a report. I was telling you, Jamie, hey, it's the Guns and 701 weekly Second Amendment report. Brought to you by Lauer Auto Repair by Clayton Peters. Yeah, I might play with it and have a little fun with it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh,
and just a reminder, if anybody hasn't
get
done,
your mind out of the gutter. I said, play with it. Anyway,
fluff it up a little bit. There
you go.
Yeah, you got. So I think 2 weeks from today, yet Clay, is it that you got to get that deer app in?
Yeah, I think it's 2 weeks. I got my deer apps in already. We'll see what happens there.
I would tell everybody there's absolutely 0 mule deer bucks in 3B2, so don't even waste your time applying for that there in that unit.
Well, and 3F2 hasn't nothing's changed here. I think they did decrease the doe tags, but again, if you don't have somewhere to hunt in 3F2, don't freaking apply. Okay, it's already there's already problems, especially with the 50% thing they did on the antelope thing. A lot of that land did go into hard lockout already.
Yeah,
and it's not going to get any better. And then not just for antelope season. I know some guys, they locked everybody out. Even some of the guys, I mean, I
was talking to a guy today about the antelope thing, and he isn't even, I mean, he's hunted antelope once in his life, and he's like, yeah, that's not going to turn out well for him passing that. And I said, nope.
No, Sean Cleary, you should be awful proud of yourself because you were the instigator of that with them backwoods homos anyway, and backcountry homos.
Backwoods.
Yeah. I can't stand them guys. We're gonna actually mention them a little bit in my main subject, but yeah, it's too bad that they did that. And here's the thing:
I seen they were in a story you got tonight. Their little backwoods.
Yeah, I like heads
popped up again.
Backwoods. Yeah, fudge pack, whatever. It's you know how they are. But I can tell you right now, some of the guys that went to some of them district game and fish meetings after that, they reported back that it was more than one of them too. That I just saw that comment. Yeah, that they asked him, well, will this be applied to deer seasons eventually? And the guy up there went like this, don't know. So they're already thinking of it. Just
like 100%. You called
here, Josh Patterson, backcountry homos is a great name for that word. It's called bingo. I couldn't agree more. Jolene, Mama Wanner's on here.
What'd she say? Speaking of deer tags, I went online and it says I will be charged if we get a tag. Is that something new?
You mean as far as
if you don't get a tag? You mean?
I don't know.
I mean, I must have missed that. I wouldn't doubt it. I'd probably slip that shit in.
Wow, I don't know.
That'd be news to me. Wow, that's horse shit.
Well, I know that. If you're getting a gratis tag and you're getting it on land you lease, you don't get charged for the tag, but you do get charged for the general game license. If you actually are the owner, then you don't have that problem. But yeah, I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. I'm just looking to see here. I'm looking on their website right now.
Yeah, I'll go. Let's see. We got some other comments here.
Go through the comments. I'll go search this a little bit.
Yeah, let's see here. Josh says, "Yep, it's new." Yeah, it is new. Oh, he said it's new. They don't take your money anymore until you get drawn for a deer tag. Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay. Then they kind of went to I think that's what South Dakota's been doing, but I don't know for sure.
Okay, I read that wrong. I read it like even if you don't get drawn, we're keeping your freaking $30.
Yeah, that wouldn't go over very well.
Eric says he struck out on elk and bighorn sheep in the better of the Dakotas. 26 years of preference points.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I can't remember how many I had, but yeah.
Lynette says, hey, guys, sorry you have to reschedule 2A day, but I'm loving the close to 8 inches of rain here. Absolutely. I mean, it's...
Me too.
First world problems. We'll take it. Josh says they finally cut tag numbers back in 3F2. Yeah. Was that when Lee and Leon were on, Clay, or was that when you and I were on that? I think Levi and Nelson threw that in there. I think that was when you and I were a couple of weeks ago. Gene Cox, even socialists like money. Oh, absolutely, Gene, especially if it's not theirs, and they really love it.
I love it. Yeah, I'm just kind of going through here. I typed in a different 3. You know, even on the gratis tag thing, it's like choose your unit. That's it's even different for the gratis tag people here. I can tell you that. I mean, there is no first choice, and you're guaranteed it. It's just that simple, and it's just interesting. Anyway, yeah, that's
All right, Clay, you want to go first? You want me to go first? You want me
Go,
to
why don't you go ahead and go first here?
All
I'm
right,
still looking to see what they're doing here on the website.
All right, since the big talks about suppressors, Clay's got a suppressor one for his man, and I do as well here. So this is got a story here, Truth About Guns. Use of suppressed firearms in the commission of violent crimes is very rare in the United States. And I did look up some stats. I'll just go. Let me finish reading this and I'll give you some. But that doesn't stop the vehemently anti-gun violence policy center from smearing suppressors in the firearm industry in an attempt to halt federal legislation deregulating the devices. So as far as being rarely used, ATF, most recent stats they had, Clay, how many times a year do you think a suppressor is used in a crime?
Probably 0.
I'm saying, well, it wasn't that low, but
okay.
44 times according to them. So the number of suppressors, which I will get to, that is 0.003% of the suppressors that are owned.
Not even a half a percent. Not even a what a 10th of a percent. Wow.
No, 0.003 of all this. So yeah, and of course, I'll tell you what, the Violence Policy Center. These scumbags, if you're a white person or if you're a Republican, you're a racist and a Nazi. You know, the VPC is a scumbag organization. And believe me, they're not against violence either. If it helps them out, they're all for it. They were all about Antifa and BLM's bullshit. So, yeah, in a recently published piece of quote research titled "Silencers: A Threat to Public Safety," BPC found every way to trash suppressors, also called silencers, and I will say cans, except for actually proving that they are dangerous to public safety in any way. In fact, in the study, BPC claims that hearing protection, Clay, it has nothing to do with the federal legislation that would remove suppressors. It had nothing to do with that. From being regulated under the NFA. I mean, I'm not saying that's solely why it's in there. It's not why they want to, deregulate some shit, but that's part of it. I mean, that's the main reason I have suppressors, because it's freaking awesome on the ears, man. I love it.
I love a suppressor, and let's just face it. Other countries, it's rude if you don't have one. Okay, it's just another tool.
I mean, it's rude if you don't have one here.
That's right. I didn't like that when I did.
So, in their public statement, proponents of the bill. This is BPC saying this here. In their public statements, proponents of the bill would like the public and policymakers to believe that silencers are innocuous devices used merely to protect the hearing of shooters, including children, which it does mine, Clay, and it does yours, and probably most of our listeners.
Yes.
The VPC report stated. But in fact, the campaign to deregulate silencers is just the latest attempt by the gun lobby and firearms industry to market yet another military-bred product with little concern for an impact on public safety.
Military-bred product.
Right. All right, Clayton. Who invented suppressors?
Maxim.
Hiram Maxim.
Yes.
The same guy who invented a goddamn muffler.
Right. Remember, I did a whole story on that.
The military, I don't think the military used them till World War II. I'm pretty sure they never used them in World War. They could have. That is, you could buy them as a civilian right over the counter.
Remember who used some of them? Oh, that's right, Mr. Teddy Roosevelt. Remember that?
Yeah. Teddy was a big suppressor pimp.
I mean, the military. That's why this is the problem when you don't teach history.
Yeah, and as Clay and I have stated many times, most guns are military.
Well, yeah, just about every cartridge has some derivative of military background.
Yeah. So, and this is funny too, which I mean, some people might not like it, but I'm going to tie Trump in here a little bit. As liberals can never miss an opportunity for some Trump bashing, the VPC report actually blamed President Donald Trump and his son for the popularity of the suppressor deregulation measures. And here they go on their little spiel here. This relatively new effort gained strength following the election of DJT in 2016. Not only was Trump and the NRA, NRA, those wimps, NRA's favorite candidate. In 2017, Trump was the first president to address the NRA at his annual meeting since 1983. Thank you, President Trump and President
Yes.
Reagan. But his son, Don Jr., has been a vocal advocate for easing civilian access to silencers. In a September 2016 promotional video from the Utah-based Silencer Co., which I have a couple Silencer Co. products. They're excellent.
Yep.
Posted on YouTube, the president's son, wearing no hearing protection, fired a pistol with an integral silencer and exclaimed, "That thing is awesome," which it is awesome.
Yep.
But what's funny, right? Because these guys are blaming Trump for trying to pimp suppressors, right, Clay? And then we got the other shitheads, a lot of them on our side. Trump said we got to look at banning suppressors, which he said one time after a shooting in Virginia, and the guy used a handgun, a 45. Remember that?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So, and he never brought it up again because, right, Clay, you and I have said it. Trump wasn't like this huge gun guy the first term, right?
No, he was. In fact, Trump wasn't really much of a gun guy ever. I mean, really, not like he is now. I think he's been very, very enlightened about the Second Amendment since 2015, 16, somewhere in there.
If he's as anti-gun as even a handful of people on our side would like you to believe, Clay, he would have been trying to ban AR-15s after somebody shot his ass with one and killed somebody, for that matter,
exactly.
wounded. So anyway,
Yeah.
All right. Let me keep going here, Clay. Ain't
Yep.
got much left. To try to seem legit, BPC did manage to dig up a handful of instances over the past few decades where killers or other criminals use silencers on their firearms during the commission of their crimes, which I said right at the beginning. Averages 44 times a year. 0.003% of suppressors are used in crimes each year, which is, I mean, so damn minuscule.
Yeah.
But nearly every one of the small number of crimes listed could just have easily been perpetrated with a firearm without a suppressor attached. I would say every one of them was, even the one I just mentioned in Virginia in the building. They called the police because they heard it. They knew it was loud, and I mean, it isn't silent. So
no, they're not silent.
Yeah.
Why they suppress.
This one will really get you. In the end, Violence Policy Liberal Center concluded that the current legislation is the most dangerous thing since the invention of firearms themselves. Like just the mere fact of getting rid of that $200, right? So here, I'll read their final statement here. Any effort to decrease the current federal regulation on this lethal firearm accessory can only further threaten public safety, the report stated. This is especially true, recognizing the fact that both bills deregulating silencers would allow for the creation of a new category of firearm, guns with integral silencers. That's not any. I mean, what's the difference? With the goal of reselling current gun owners while hopefully appealing to potential new customers. Instead of considering a rollback on the controls currently placed on these military-bred accessories, Congress and states should be identifying ways to further limit their availability to the general public. Yeah, like choke out the Second Amendment even more.
Yeah, it's a tool. It's a piece of metal. I mean, think about it. A suppressor is useless without the firearm, right? I mean, in today's world, the way it's thought of. I mean, we put silencers on our cars all the time. They're mufflers and glass backs.
Like I said, the same guy invented silencers and first invented the freaking muffler on a car.
And Gene pointed out that Maxim actually invented a machine gun. That's actually very true. Here in Percy Maxim, he actually invented the machine gun. I was just kind of going over some of that again and found out that his silencer, suppressor, they were actually used in World War I. I did not realize that.
I didn't think it was, but all right.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Because he invented it in like 1898 or something, I believe. Right?
It was invented before that. He patented it in 1909. It was different from the modern suppressors at that time.
Okay.
It used a curved vein to force muzzle gases. And basically cooled everything and then reduced the pressure. Remember when we did that? It was an off-center attachment. Remember you had your gun barrel, but it was off-center.
Like a lot of shotgun suppressors.
Yeah. I didn't realize though that so in 1916 it went on the Mexican expedition, and in the First World War they were used a little bit. I didn't know that either. Interesting. Of course, we know what happened in 1934.
Maybe Patton had his pimp handled Colt threaded his revolver.
There you go. World War II. Awesome. That'd be great. Amen. Yeah.
Brian Warner says, didn't hear him go deaf while he was developing the silencer. Man, I
What
think I heard
happened?
something about that. If he didn't go deaf, I think he messed his ears
Yeah.
up.
Probably did. Yeah. I don't remember. I remember early on, I'd have to go pull our videos now because I remember when we talked about this. That was kind of a cool
Yeah,
story.
I mean, it would kind of repeat some stuff sometime, but I mean, that's how. What
Yep.
what the hell did Josh said something there about the ATF gave Trump a big middle finger today or something?
Yeah, our sponsor there, John there, Little Angry Man
Well, that's what.
Firearms. Yeah, he said something about that ATF put out a reform today, basically with a big middle finger to administration. I'll be honest, John, I've been pretty busy today and wasn't
I didn't
paying
catch
much
that one.
attention
Sorry.
to any news. I was working on our
Maybe Clay can
big
hit it
bulk
Friday.
thing. Yeah, I'll do some looking into it, see what they did. If you got some other info, John.
I mean, how are they
pass it
giving
my
anybody
way.
a big finger? I thought we had our freaking guy running the show now there at the
Yeah.
ATF.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
There's some ratty bastards at the ATF. I mean, there's
there is
the rot runs deep there.
very deep, very deep. And let's just face it, the people in charge there, they're only at the head and they're probably doing a lot of house cleaning. We'll see where it goes. I'm not ready to throw them just under the bus yet.
Oh, he said it was
John,
the past minute. Okay.
Okay.
Well, Clay, I tell you what, 8:25. You want to do our first commercial and come back and we'll fat fingered in a 6-pack.
Well, you know, I'd give John a bad time and say, while you're fat fingering it, drinking, go ahead and hit that QR code. But he's already a sponsor, so thank you, John. Little Angry Man Firearms. We won't give him too much grief, but let's go ahead and thank some of our top 2 sponsors that have been with us for a long time. We'll be right back after about 2 minutes.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy, Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody. And hey, over there at Rumble, I haven't forgotten about you. See you over there. Thanks for tuning in over there too. So, yeah, and if you're over there on Twitter, we got quite a few on Twitter. I guess X. It's X now. Go ahead and share it. Invite people to it.
Yep.
Get the word out there. Grow that as well. That's been probably our best growing platform out there.
Make sure you hit the like before you do anything, and then not only that, support our sponsors the best of your ability.
Yep, absolutely. Bloodline Kinetics, Lauer Auto Repair, Little Angry Man Firearms, and Horton Lasercraft. But Roger and Jane are gone right now. They won't be back until it'll be like the first part of June. So you won't be able to get a hold of them right now. That they're out there seeing kids and seeing family and friends a lot around all through Texas and Arizona. They took a big trip. So good for them. I'm glad that they're out there having fun. John, thanks for sending that link. I will go check this out as far as what's happening there.
So Clay, I know you're going to be talking about related to the reconciliation package here coming up. Breaking news here 3 minutes ago from the NRA. I don't know why they call it this. Manager's amendment to the reconciliation package includes the removal of suppressors from the NFA. The House and Senate should pass this immediately. Send it to President DJT's desk for signature.
That just happened, huh?
Yep. I mean, when you get into your deal, I got an opinion on this, and it's my opinion
I do too,
based loosely on facts.
I mean, I've got some of this in for a mag dump, but maybe I don't know. Well, I'll tell you what, the reconciliation bill has been full of a lot of things, right? I mean, we've been seeing them try to do something with the NFA. You're only allowed to do certain things during the reconciliation bill, but one of them is, and I guess I'm going to go straight into what I was going to talk about is
hit it.
All of the little fuzzy feather fish and all them little dumbass groups, bo homo, freaking country, whatever. Them guys, they think, right now within that bill, and I couldn't see if it was removed because this happened here the first week of May when they put a deal in there. Would have been Representative Mark Omaldi. He's a Republican out of Nevada, and Celeste Malloy, a Republican out of YouTube. YouTube.
Yes, out of
Utah.
YouTube.
They introduced a 33-page amendment to that whole hearing that would have allowed some sell-off of public lands, or as I like to call them,
1.5 million acres.
Yeah, taxpayer lands is what they are. I hate that word public. They're not public. Nothing public about them. They close things down all the time on, quote, public land.
So all these guys are worried it was hunting, and I read Meat Eater's thing today. He was all, contact your representatives. This is bullshit. And I mean, people who lived in Nevada are like, there's nothing there.
Right. And again, let me remind everybody, the federal government was never, ever supposed to have this much federal land. Ever. It was never intended. So I'd like to see them follow that constitutional mandate and start selling off land. But I know I'm a minority of that. By the way, all of you guys out there, because I got accused of this yesterday when we were having this discussion with some people, kept talking about subsidized farmers and ranchers, which I don't participate. You know that, right, Jamie?
Yep.
I do none of that.
Yep.
But a lot of people do. Well, let's just call public land subsidized hunting land, because that's what it is. You guys get out there and you bang your freaking drum and you go hard about it and not even thinking about what it really costs to have those lands. They shut them down to you. They restrict your access, worse than probably private land, honestly. And then it costs their millions and millions, trillions of dollars probably to try and take care of them. You been to Yellowstone lately? Don't look so good. They're doing a horrible job. They don't manage them. The forests are in horrible shape. It was much better when we had private entities in there helping manage them forests, logging out the bad debris, the bad trees, getting rid of the diseased trees. Now we have problems. The pine beetle, they're down there destroying the Black Hills of South Dakota. So don't tell me about how great it is to have all these in control. There, now I'll get off my soapbox. As I really get.
I mean, at the very minimum, turn it back over to the states.
That's where it belongs. If you're not for the selling, I think there is a compromise in the middle here, where we put the control either back into the state's hands, or I'd like to better yet see it at the county level, because you have more interaction as a
once
local
you get it to the
person.
states, then you work on getting to the county.
Absolutely. And, then the same person, well, you've got those government allotments. I said, the only reason I have government allotments is because they went with the land when they were created. Okay. I can't do nothing. They won't sell them. So I have no choice. I have to do business.
Oh, yeah. Once they got it, they don't want to give her up.
And I guarantee you, I manage it myself better than they ever have. And they admitted that to me, because when I was doing the NRA job, we had a renter here, and they were allowing him to run darn near 40 pairs more than I ever did for a lot longer time. And it looked like a golf course out there. They were in horrible shape. Now they look good. There's some good natural death, the dead growth in there from last year. I mean, I don't overgraze it. It caught snow. They look great. They're greening up. I mean, I actually need to get some cattle out there and start clipping off that early spring grass. So don't tell me about management, because guarantee you the private sector will do it way better and more efficiently. And let's face it, if we don't manage our own land, we ain't in business very long, are we, Jamie?
No, not
And
at all.
when I see stuff like this, and then they're fighting it, I mean, we're talking about 500,000 acres, and it's not.
No, it's
USDA.
1.5. According to
1.5.
Meat Eater's thing on post
Okay.
today on Facebook, it was 1.5 million.
And it's mostly BLM land. There's a little bit of U.S. forest lands, and that's in the Washoe County, Nevada. But let's sell it off. Maybe take that money and pay off some debt. And then they're talking about the Federal Land Transition Facilitation Act, and they go that it's an administrative process. That's a key, administrative process. It says that the proceeds from federal lands must go into an account that reinvests in our public land system. Yes, it says that to a point. It is an administrative process, by the way. So when you actually go in there and dig into that, because I did a little of this because I knew I was going to talk about this tonight, they don't necessarily have to do what all these groups are saying. They don't have to go buy more land. They don't have to go find public access for more land. They can stick it in, they can sell that land and then take that money if they want and say, go to Yellowstone or go to Mount Rushmore, go into any piece of land they still have and invest it there, improving that land, maybe fixing the stuff they've let go into disarray, because there's tons of problems with our public lands and the disarray that they're, that disrepair that they're in. So, I'm not for the government, the federal government, buying any more land, period. I won't support that at all. Selling it, great. Let's get it sold. And I know I'm a minority there. I know there's some people listening here. They love public land. I don't hunt any public land generally. I don't want to compete. I like my private land, and I don't have to.
Well, hey, Jane from Texas, she said she's waiting on Elon to launch Ship 9 on the 27th. So
There you go.
appreciate you tuning in, Jane. 2A701, our
You know
man.
who Jane is, right?
No.
That's Jane Horton. So Horton,
Oh,
thank you.
shit. Okay, awesome,
Thanks
man.
for tuning in. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for
Absolutely.
sponsoring the show. Love it.
And that too. And hey, right here. Get these we got a bunch of them. We got a new order in. So, yep. By the way, I tried to update the website. We have a problem. Heather's working on that for us. I can't get into the site. Can't log in and actually do anything. And she
shit.
don't know why.
Okay.
So she's working on it.
2A701 says he was struggling on YouTube. The stream switched to X. No problem, baby.
There you go. See, everything's better with a capitalist.
What's up, Dave Fettig? How you doing, buddy?
David,
Talked
I
to your
seen-
neighbor at a graduation party today, Johnny Baum. I talked to him. We were talking some shooting.
I did see that DJ Doug Thompson, Rapid City, was tuning in. I haven't seen him.
Yeah.
Good to have you back with us there, DJ. So yeah, I was busy too. I had graduation all last weekend. Landon, my oldest, graduated, and he got his rifle, Jamie, and he was pretty happy about that.
Yeah, that thing looked pretty sweet, man. It looked real good, Clay.
I'll get some decent pictures and get them on here.
What caliber was that?
I had it chambered in 45 Colt. You can get, it's a new original Henry, and you can get them in 45-70. But I did that with a 45 Colt that way if you want to carry a pistol. Plus, I reload 45 Colt, a lot of it, and it just was a better round for us to have right here. So, and not everybody has one in a 45 Colt. They always get the 45-70.
Yep.
Yeah, I knew Eric
Eric's-
would chime in. Yep. He says, I hunt almost only public lands, but I have it out my back door. And he does. He's right down in there. And I know a lot of people that do. But again, I do not want it in the federal government's hands. And me and Eric have had this. I'd like to see it return, like I said, at the minimum, the state control, or get it to the counties. So, yeah. The world ended. Takes
You might want to
seriously now help.
snipe Tony right
Oh,
there.
God.
Tony wrong, I mean. Yeah, I mean, I will say I'm not against public land. I think states should own it. I think the less public land we have, the less people we're going to have on our team who are hunters. And I mean, most people I know who are big gun guys now started out hunting, and if they didn't have hunting land, I don't know that most of them would be on our team. So I'm definitely not, I'm not against it. I'm against who's running the shit.
I definitely don't want the feds in charge. I mean, you look where Marty's at down there in the bottoms, and they've been closing stuff left and right there. Hell,
Yeah, he got boot fucked. His family did on that shit with their land.
I go down there by Shade Hill, which is their big reservoir down there. Down where we got our cabin. And I mean, I've been here my whole life, and places we used to be able to go and camp or access, or they've closed the roads. They can't camp no more. It's a day use only. Why? Why? I mean, they're shoving all these people to keep expanding one in particular campground down there and shoving everybody there. Oh, that's right. You got to pay to go there. Oh, huh. What a funny thing. Yeah.
Funny how money's got a way of doing just that.
Yeah. So, as far as this goes, it doesn't bother me. I'd like to see this particular piece, these acres probably sold. I don't think that now. I do believe that that should be only sold to people in the United States. No foreign entities. They don't have a right to buy anything here if you're a foreigner. But I don't know. I don't know what the parameters will be set. To me, what I'd really like to see if they're going to sell is that then whoever's been renting that, give them a chance to buy it first. Like I've got these allotments. These have been leased since they were created by my father-in-law's father. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so nobody else has ever had them anyway. And that should be something that if they ever did sell it, they should give a fair market value offer to the people that already lease it. As you'd see in so many private deals of people that lease land, a lot of times that leasee gets first shot at it. And that happens in the private sector too.
Yep.
So
Yep.
but anyway, these lands are very, very expensive to maintain. They don't do it correctly. They don't do the right things. Like with my government allotments,
Well, a lot of times they don't even spray the freaking weeds, and they expect
No.
private landowners. I mean, it's freaking pretty much the law. You got to do it.
or they'll use some kind of a weed killer that don't do nothing because they're trying to follow some freaking green initiative, and that don't work. And it just, yeah, it's a
Well,
horrible
I mean, is
breeding
this
ground
going to
for
fall
failure.
under budgetary or the Byrd Amendment in the Senate where it's not changing law? I mean, I don't
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I don't know if it's going to pass muster with that.
I don't either.
Which is, I mean, if you want to talk about this suppressor thing now, which that's going to be my dig on that.
Well, and that's suppressor. Yeah, let's switch. I think we beat this one to death. So the suppressor thing, I really don't, and I don't kill the messenger. Under reconciliation bills, it has to do with budgetary things. And I don't think they can actually literally go in there and remove them from the NFA because that's a law that was created in 1934. 1934 National Firearms. Plus, you got the 1968 Gun Control Act, by the way, that also affects this. So that's got to be a congressional change in the law.
Yep.
So I mean, they can do it. Let's just face it. They can do anything they want. It's just when it gets challenged in court, wouldn't you rather have that hold up in court rather than the any of the court levels say, sorry, you violated the Byrd Amendment. Now, there is one catch here, and no one's talking about, is the Byrd Amendment constitutional? It's never been challenged.
And that's only in the Byrd Amendment only is in the Senate, so
Right. It's only in the Senate. So the House can do whatever they want. But again,
right, but I mean, the
is-
House. I mean, Kelly pretty much, Governor Armstrong texted me and said, it's knowing that it's reconciliations or budget amendments.
they are. That's what they're
Not
doing. And
budget
they don't
amendments, but
they-
budgetary bills.
budgetary bills, and they do not require the 60 votes in the Senate. That's
Right.
the key.
Just a
So-
simple majority.
I imagine now. Here's what did you see the same thing here? It looks like to me that they did push back in there. They're going to zero out the tax stamp. They're not going to do the $5 thing even.
Yeah, I
And
did.
I know I heard you and Leon talk about it last week, and I'll take it. Okay. And I think that will pass muster. There's nothing says that they have to charge that. That's just a fee that they set.
Mhm.
And I don't think they have to implement it. Now, they probably have to leave them listed under the NFA. I'm about positive that if that went through the court system, that it would get knocked down as unconstitutional. I don't know.
So, Clay, think of it this way. Let's say we get it in there to repeal the NFA and we get no tax stamp, right?
Mm-hmm.
Passes both houses, Trump signs it. 10 years down the road, Democrats got the presidency, they got the House, they got the Senate. All right, fuckers. You want to do it that way? Now we're going to turn this shit around and make it even worse on you. Now it's $1,000 a freaking stamp. You're still going to we're still going to register these some bitches and whatever else we can throw on it.
Oh, absolutely could happen. When you start doing stuff like this that don't have to go through that threshold of actual legislative passage of a bill, and you start doing it through reconciliation or through going through your provisions or going through protocols or going through whatever you want to call it, you always run that risk. That's why I don't like executive orders, because they can be reversed as easy as they can be implemented. Okay.
Yeah, I got a text. Yeah, Dave, I read that before you got on there. The NRA put that on there, and it's yet a thing there, the full repeal. And like Clay and I just said, I mean, even if they get it, I don't think it's not going to. The Senate will freaking knock that out. I'll put money on it.
You're right, 2A. Democrats understand this completely. That's why they're so patient.
Democrats understand politics better than Republicans, other than Trump.
Well, they have long-term strategies beyond what a lot of Republicans do. I always have a long-term strategy, but they do. They look 50 to 100 years down the road, where a lot of our Republicans in our party look at maybe a year. They're in it for the long haul. That's why they want to say, "Oh, they just keep coming at you." I said, no. They have a plan, and they really look out and go, hey, what can we do here? What can we do at this point? And this is how we'll accomplish it. And they do it. And I mean, a lot of this crap started in the 60s, and they knew it wouldn't take effect. I mean, the National Organization of Commie Women, that's what I like to call them, of now, the president at that time, and I forget 60, whatever, when she gave her speech, says, well, we know we cannot change the people now. We can't even change your children, but we're going to own your grandchildren, your great grandchildren. And they do. Right. They did it. They were patient. They inundated the school systems. They inundated the colleges.
You know what gave the idea? The freaking Russians. The not what the hell is the Russian CIA? What are they called again? I'm escaping me.
Oh, I can see it too now.
The Yuri Brezhnev or whatever said they freaking instilled that in the Democrat Party in the 60s.
Yes, they did. Absolutely. Well, David just said it. Republicans don't plan far enough ahead. Dems come at it with the generosity death by 1,000.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And that's me and Claire said it. So if we get the $200 off, that's my way of going back at them with their own shit.
Yeah. KGB. There you go. That's what we were.
There you go. Yeah, the KGB.
I knew someone would have
Yuri Bezmenov, I think was his name. He's like, yeah, we told them to do this shit, and they did it. Start race wars and racial hate and all this other stupid DEI shit. Fucking Russians they're like the chinks. That might get us banned. The Chinese.
Our guest co-host last week, he says, we fight with white gloves. They fight in the gutter. Heck, they don't just fight with that. They don't fight fair. They don't care. They like to win. And all means necessary. They do not care. All right, we should probably get to some of these comments.
Yeah, go for it.
Coming in here. Well, I'm going to go back a ways. Dead Wolf says, let's just take it back. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that's wrong.
If you just try it, it ain't going to work. You know what I mean?
You got FUBAR, government FUBAR is everything. Yes, they do. If you don't know what FUBAR means, look it up, someone, especially a millennial, if you're listening to FUBAR.
Well, if you saw Private Ryan, you know what it is.
And what was that where you had Stallone and you had Kurt Russell. I forget what movie that was. They were two cops and FUBAR. What's FUBAR mean? Well,
it was Tango and Cash.
Tango and Cash. There you go.
Genetics, Pee-wee.
John, one of our sponsors here, he goes, hard to work with when supposed pro-gun 2A companies lobbying against us to keep them on. And I imagine he's referring to Silencer Central. We're going to visit a little bit about that tonight. I did catch that after you said it, Jamie. And Brandon Maddox, he made a good point. We'll talk about that. We should have a little time, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll get to these comments and take a break and come back in. Because I heard him on Gun Talk with John Gresham. There.
Gene Cox challenged the NFA in court. Roosevelt only threatened the pact to court. I'm not afraid of the fight. I'm really not. But right now, we do not have the Supreme Court everybody thinks we did. Yes, we got Bruin.
They're a joke.
And I'm thankful for Bruin. But ever since then, have you noticed how that same court, they're just not doing it? And I never did like that freaking Comey Barrett, whatever her name is. I never liked her. I went and read all of her freaking court cases. I said, she's a horrible choice. I was on the record saying it, and I was right. You couldn't trust her, and we can't trust her. That says, I haven't heard FUBAR since high school. Oh, KGB.
Thanks for everybody telling me it was a KGB. I got a text too. Thanks. I couldn't. Why the hell we couldn't remember that? Clay's beyond me.
And I should have remembered that. Yeah. I mean, come on. It's
His finger or mine? Yours. Spies Like Us. Remember when he
Yep.
was talking?
Freaking another great movie. Dead Wolf, yes. This should be covered under the Bill of Rights, talking about Supreme Constitutional
I'm under
law.
Bruin, man. They didn't ban anything you put on your gun. It should be automatically. I mean,
Yeah, Eric says the Republicans don't look past the end of their nose. And that's honestly, it's so true. They never look far enough ahead. They really
got a
don't.
handful of them, man, and the rest of them are.
There you go. And he's right. Gene's
They did,
absolutely right.
yeah. Like I said, Yuri Bezmenov freaking said, he said, I was in the KGB and that's what the fuck we did. And it's worked. He said, Clay, he said, I watched an interview with him on YouTube and he said it worked even far better than we ever thought it ever would.
They had
said,
a plan.
You guys are killing yourself from the inside. It's unbelievable how easy it was.
They did what Japan couldn't get done because Japan, always said that they would never invade the homeland or that they would take us from within. Well, that didn't work out so good, but the communists got her done, didn't they? I mean, Russia got it done. Old Jamie O taking my remedy. That's what old Leon's saying. Knocks it out every time. Don't text and drive, kids. All right.
It's actually NyQuil.
NyQuil. There you go. All right. So we'll come back. I think we'll take a big break here. Get a little break. Go get some cold.
All right. Let's come back and talk about Silencer Central.
And then we'll come back and do a little silencer talk, huh?
Yep.
How's that sound?
Shh.
Quiet, right? Librarians should support suppressors. Well, just back.
They should.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Here we go.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy, Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
Looking for the best gun gear for every and any situation? Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton Lasercraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved.
All right, we're back, everybody. My son was down here trying to interrupt me, but I'll have to talk to him at the next break. Anyway, I should have put him on air, right?
Right.
So, did you see this, Jamie, that David sent to us? This was just came out, I guess, about 5 minutes ago, and yeah, he sent this, and it has to come with it in general, section 580, 5845A, and it talks, it's just basically defining the things. $5 for each firearm, by the way, transferred in the case of a weapon classified as any other weapon under section 5845. $0 for each firearm transferred in the case of a silencer, as defined in section 921 of Title 18. If you guys don't know, U.S. Code Title 18 is where all tax law is found. Therefore, that's where pretty much every gun law is too, by the way, and that's got a whole history by itself. Then
Which I was educated on by Clayton Peterson.
Yeah, I've actually got a book over there that has the whole thing in it. You know me. Everyone thinks I don't read. That's not true. I just don't read fictional books, but you know how that goes. I want to learn something. The section 3, $200 for any other firearm transferred, making tax section 5821 is amended and reads as follows. So basically, yes, $0 for a suppressor, $5 for whatever other weapons are defined, and then I imagine the $200 still applies to actual machine guns, which is what the NFA thing was all about, really. How suppressors that's a whole nother story, how suppressors got put in there. But that came
I had a story on that a while back. I think I did like a Saturday night one, or whatever.
You did, yes.
To make it real short, a guy used a suppressor in the freaking 20s to murder his family. It was a 22, I think, or 25.
Yeah,
and he shot a bunch of his family members, and then
even
back then, the liberal media went ape shit. Yes. And then 9 years later, good old Roosevelt, we must ban these dangerous, this penguin freaking cigarette smoker there.
Freaking commie. Anyway, the American Suppressor Association shared this, I guess, about 15 minutes ago. So, yeah, it's a breaking lawmakers. Okay. The House Rules Committee have added a full repeal of suppressors from the NFA, meaning the $0. Yeah. So, again, this is going to come down to, I imagine we'll still have to do a background check. I have no doubt that I don't think they can remove that, but at least we'll get rid of the fee. I'm good with that. I'll take what we can get. It's a start. I guess maybe I've been involved in this stuff for too long. Yes, I want it all, guys. I do. You should be able to go down to your local hardware store and buy a suppressor. Absolutely legally. You can still do that. You can go to your local parts store and get a suppressor technically.
Yeah.
The adapter, but it's not legal. And we're not going to get that. We definitely aren't going to get that in reconciliation. We're not going to get that in a standalone bill. The House will probably pass it. I think you get it through the House. It'll never get the 60 votes in the Senate, which is what it's going to need, unless they drop the nuclear option, if you haven't heard that, which would give you a simple majority. But when that happens, guess what?
Then they can use it back on you.
They can use it against you. Yes.
That's what I said. I'm not convinced like some people are we're going to lose in the midterms. I said, we get this now and the midterms come, we can get rid of this shit. I mean, we can we can boot stomp this son of a bitch and get it out, get rid of the NFA the right way, and then it's done with.
Yes, because it'd be awful hard to get it back if we can actually get.
And the Senate, even now, Trump's favorability rating is going up. And we get the big, beautiful bill passed. Shit keeps getting better. Our chances are going to go up. And if we get 60, hey.
I don't know about you, Jamie, but I did send something to Fedorchak's office, just, nice, cordial.
Yeah, I called her.
You called him. I'd have gotten no response. Have you gotten a response?
I told him don't even send me one. I said I'm just.
Well, I want a
asking
response.
her.
I want a written letter generally because I have proof. I've actually used that.
Yeah, I always tell him just don't even. I did get it. I think I got a text message. Thanks for contacting.
Yeah, that's so. David, he says, I hope someday our rights are returned, but I feel this is the right direction. ATF newsletter that came out today gives me some hope that we may see a change or a chance for a long-term or permanent change. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, David. I know last week when you and Leon were talking, I'm with Leon. I want it all gone, but that is not going to happen in this bill. In fact, like I said, I don't think it can. I mean, I'm all for it. You want to do it?
Telling you, if
Great,
it's
but
yeah, they can get it in there, but the Senate's going to take it out.
yes. At one point in the not so distant past, you could buy a firearm through the Sears and Roebuck catalog. Absolutely, you could. You go in there
Before 68.
What's that?
Before 68.
Yeah, I mean, it was common. You could buy them. I'm with her.
Hell, I had a Sears shotgun actually.
Yeah, well, Montgomery Ward too. I had one of those for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now, I have never supported the NICS background check system. Okay, I know why it passed, and that was another one of them things. Something worse was going to pass everybody when that went through. Remember, we had Brady that was shot in the head at Reagan. Then you fast forward and go through all when the background checks came in, and then we came with NICS, which was the instant back. But we had the Brady bill before that, where you had to do the form, you had to go through this. That was going to continue, especially in the 90s when the Democrats held the House, the Senate, and the White House. And that's why the NICS system was pushed so hard by NRA, because they wanted to have a seat at the table. What's that?
Because they're sellouts, Clay. That's why.
And they're sellouts.
They're not like Gun Owners of America. They got a huge wiener.
Well, I mean, they got
they got a lot of bills passed. They got a lot of bills passed.
Yeah, they ride the shirt tails and everything else of the NRA. I'm telling you right now, this game sucks. The political game sucks.
It does.
And I know that a lot of guys don't listen to Michael Bell's show. We're on there. We like Michael. We get along with Michael. But I'm telling you right now, he was a lobbyist. I've been on that side of the bench too. This is how if you don't play it, that slow ball game, then you get nothing. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm telling you right now, groups like the NRA who have the big dog in the room, 10,000-pound gorilla in the corner, them politicians, they listen. They do. But when you have situations when you're going to lose the battle, it's guaranteed. They have the votes. Then you got to try and mitigate. How bad is it going to be? You see things like the assault weapons ban. You've got the sunset clause, pretty much only affected ARs. Did not include the Remington regular rifles, 7,400 or 7,600 to semi-auto. Did not include the Ruger 1022 when it was all done, because those were all originally on.
It would have been.
So think about that, because that's what we're playing. This is the game you have to.
So Clay, the NRA. Who did I say in the beginning? Who were the only two presidents that spoke there?
Oh, well, Donald J. Trump and Reagan?
Yeah, in 83.
In 83, yeah.
Yeah. GOA, let me see who. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think that's.
You're a dick, JD. I'm a Gun Owners of America. Good for you. Just don't try and tell me that they're way better and bigger than the NRA. They're not.
They're not. I'm a member of Gun Owners of America. Don't get me wrong.
But
I am a very, very long
Sorry,
lifetime member of the NRA. Well, they do some things.
I mean, they send out worse propaganda shit back in the day when I was all or nothing than anybody.
But I'll give you this. In Georgia, where they're very active, they've actually done a lot of good locally. You got to remember, though, that's their local people doing it. But that's a whole nother discussion. 18 wheels and a dozen or 6 shooters. At least suppressors are considered firearms that are pat. They will be protected by the Second Amendment. Yeah, I mean, if that's a good point. Or if they're a firearm, they're going to have to make a decision someday. Are they or aren't they? Then do they? If they're a firearm, are they?
Wow, who made it? Didn't? God, I thought some court said they weren't.
They did already.
I think you said that on Todd's show, didn't you?
Yes, it was a district court, and that'll be interesting to see how that plays out now. Because if they're not a firearm, because the liberals had a court case, and that was the argument. They're not a firearm. So therefore, they don't have Second Amendment protection. Oh, they don't. So what you're saying is, then they can be sold anywhere, any place, like any other product?
Yeah. Well, you know what they'll say, then they're not protected, so that's how we can regulate them.
Or deregulate, or not have anything
No, I'm
happen
saying
to
that's
them.
why the
I know
leftists
that's
will
what they're
say
going to
that.
say,
Yeah.
but they can't have it both ways because they're not. What are you going to regulate it under? But yeah. Anyway, Gene Cox, Oswald got an Italian Carcano sent to a PO box back in the day. Yes, he did, and made the long shot. John says the background check system is only as good as the idiots entering the information. Exactly. Anything like that is only as good as the information fed to it. It's very. Leon goes, I understand the compromise. Sometimes you have to compromise with those dirty effing Democrats because they are always up to something much worse. See the 3/5 clause.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I hate it. I can tell you right now. I'm glad I'm not as engaged as I was because you feel like crap when you go in knowing that, you know what? We're not going to win this battle. But if we can litigate it so it's the most minimal or it goes away in so many years, that's going to be a win because we can live to fight another day.
Mm-hmm.
It's them battles that you go into that are going to become permanent law forever that you really, really feel crappy about. And you do dig in because no matter what, if you can't litigate it within certain circles, and what I mean by litigate, and people don't like to hear this, if you're a lobbying group and you've got money, I guarantee you litigation means who did you buy off, and you go remind them, hey, we give you 20,000. Hey, we give you 250,000 in your campaign. We expect you to vote this way. That's what I mean by litigation. And how many times have I said it, Jamie? Sometimes it was me.
I mean, connect the
how you
dots.
doing,
To me,
Senator?
I don't give money to somebody to contribute to them so they do something I don't want them to do.
Exactly. And I mean, I don't know how many times I made trips to Pier and reminded a couple people how much money the NRA had given them through the PVF.
And lobbyists get a dirty name, but guess what? When there's a 1,000-page bill, lobbyists come in here. I'm not saying because I hate lobbyists for freaking moms demand confiscation.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Well,
But I mean, I'm not saying they're all good, but I think they kind of get a bad rap a lot of times. So Dave says GOA does good things. Kyle Rittenhouse situation is a great example. Yeah, I didn't say they were totally bad, Dave. Just some of the shit they did over the years, lying about other gun organizations being factor number one. That's why I say fuck GOA. That number one. Number two, when they were on I can't remember if it was Hennon's show or Steve Bakken's show. He had the guy on and he was bragging how we've sucked 1 million NRA members away on our team. And I said, I was just up to the committee hearing for Second Amendment expansion to the Capitol, and you guys weren't up there. Wow, we didn't have the money for that. Like, what do you mean? You just got 1 million people away from the NRA. You got all this money rolling, and now you can't come up here and lobby for our rights, you phony fuck.
I mean, yeah, if they had all that money that came in, what were their dues? Like $25, I think, right? I don't even remember.
Whatever.
I mean, if it is, that's $25 million. So
I get a little triggered by GOA. I'm going to be honest with you.
I tell you what,
I'm hanging on to the old 10 years ago GOA, but.
Well, I've been to both North and South Dakota capitals, spent a lot of time down in South Dakotas, and we had GOA members or GOA lobbyists down there when we were working on NRA stuff.
Gay old assholes.
Yeah, and I can tell you this, they also screwed up some great bills. They honestly did.
Well, yeah, because they're always like, no, we get everything or we get nothing.
Yes, and I'm telling you, it screwed us on reciprocity one year. Gun Owners of America, because they took such a hard line. And yes, that is what we wanted. It's eventually what we got.
They say
it wasn't
the
going
only
to
no
happen
compromise gun organization. I always said the only no common sense gun organization. So.
Sometimes. And sometimes you have to, if you want to. It took us several years to get to full reciprocity in South Dakota and constitutional carry. I mean, I worked on constitutional carry for 10 years down there while I was an NRA rep. Never got it passed. It finally passed after the year after I retired because of the work we did prior to that. We've won little battles the whole way. Yep. Unfortunately, that's what it takes.
Yeah. So I see that before I forget about this comment Lynette said a while back. She's happy with how Marco Rubio was. I gotta admit, Marco Rubio is like a freaking dog let off the freaking chain. Now, did you see that guy? I've been watching him since Trump appointed him Secretary of State.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Marco
That guy's
Rubio,
a freaking killer, man. I love it.
he's like full bore on board. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, what did he say to Chris Van Hollen? I regretted voting for you now. And he's like, well, if you regretted voting for me, I know I'm doing everything right then.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta love it. I'll give him this. I can't call him Little Marco anymore. That's how he got nicknamed, was Little Marco. I don't think we can do that. We just gotta call him Big Marco. I mean, come on, guy's getting it done, ain't he?
Yeah, I mean, I looked at his hands too, and he was close up. He has normal size hands, so.
Swinging the big boy.
Yeah, no, it was good, man. Every time I see Marco now, I'm like, God damn, I like what he's doing now. This is awesome.
Yeah, he's you know what? And you and I had this discussion on the phone today when we were talking a little bit. People getting pissed off at Trump because he was this or he was that, or Mark. Let's just take Marco Rubio. Yeah, he made some stupid comments and did some stupid votes. But you know what? I also did a stupid move when I was 18 and registered as a freaking Democrat. And yes,
I can't ever trust you, Clay.
I know, and that's just what I'm getting at. Does anyone today believe I'm a Democrat or vote Democrat? I doubt it. If you do, you've been living under hell. You ain't been under a rock. You just been off the freaking grid for a long time. I mean,
2A71 says some of your Twitter comments aren't going through here.
Yeah, okay.
Right, I'm gonna check it. All right, Clay, you wanna hit on that Brandon Maddox thing there? Well, I'll check these.
Yeah, so I did go listen to that too. Brandon was on. Remind me what show it was, Jamie.
Gun Talk with
Gun
John
Talk.
Gresham. The guy's been on the air for 30
And they talked
years,
a
I
lot
think.
about Silencer Central and what the whole lobby thing. He said, yes, we hired a lobbyist. Yes, we paid him. Remember that picture that was going around, that was a lobbyist they hired. The wording was confusing on there, but they were trying to do a lot of work even prior to 2024. Some of them reports are about a year later. So there is that. Trying to at least get it down to some kind of a negotiable price because they knew, you got to remember, that was all before Trump come in. Let's face it. That was with the previous administration. We were never, ever going to get anything out of that administration. Also, I know that they've been working with the American Suppressor Association, so I'm not going to just throw them under the bus here, okay? I don't think they were working against us. I really don't. If it comes out that they were, then I look foolish. We all look foolish. But they'll pay the price if it's the truth. I've met Brandon a few times. I don't know. He always seemed like a solid guy from Sioux Falls down in there. He actually was quite generous to our NRA banquets down there in Sioux Falls and attended every year. So I don't know what to tell you guys. The conversations I had with him back then, I just don't see the guy being a compromised individual when it comes to the Second Amendment. I truly don't.
So he did say though, Clay, right? He admitted, yes, we hired a lobbyist.
Yes, he did.
Right. And he said, but it wasn't to lobby against the HPA. That was when Biden was in, and they did what they wanted to do was take, instead of the $200 all going to straight to the government. Him and his lobbyist said the firm that he hired were lobbying. So I don't know how much, was it half or almost all of it was going to go to Pittman Robinson, right?
Yeah, and they're not the only ones that want it, but yeah, they wanted to go to Pittman Robinson. I'm not.
And he said to this day, he said he still retains the same lobbyist firm, which does lobbying for other gun companies as well.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't like the Pittman Robinson fund as it is today. It's better with the Dingell Amendment that helped it, but I do not want that money put into the game and fish coffers any longer. It does not belong there.
I agree.
Because they
you want to build gun ranges and shit, go for it.
Well, I don't know if anyone knows this. There's a gun range south of Mandan. There's a gun range south of Bismarck now, right?
Yep, right south of Marty.
There's a gun range out in Pierre. There's a gun range by Williston. All of those gun ranges were built with Pittman Robinson money after yours truly reminded them of the percentage of Pittman Robinson money that was allocated. I don't know if anyone realizes some of that money is got to be allocated to range development, and game and fish entities weren't doing any of that till we, the NRA, got involved. And that was something that came out of our own winter meetings when I'd attended to put the pressure on these freaking asshats and break up their slush fund. And that's when them ranges got built, because we got our lawyers involved. So the big bad NRA that don't do nothing, you might as well thank them. You wouldn't have them ranges today if we wouldn't have put the pressure on and made them apply that money where it belonged. And that was in range development. Just so you guys know the background on that.
And Gresham asked them straight out too. Did you or did you not have your firm lobby for getting rid of HP? He said no. He said all this stuff about, well, they won't answer to because they're going to lose money. He said we're not going to lose money. We're the number one silencer manufacturer. He goes, we don't just sell them, we manufacture them. They're
Right.
Banish series and whatever, and they sell other silencers there as well. But he said if you get rid of the $200, he goes, we're going to make more freaking money. We're not going to lose money by to get rid of the $200 and you get rid of the HPA. He goes, we're going to make more money. So I don't know where people are saying that.
I mean, think about it, Jamie. Capitalism, when applied, it works, right? Supply and demand. There is a huge demand.
I mean, especially if you're manufacturing the damn things, you're definitely.
I mean, right now there are people, and we know several of them, that won't get a suppressor because they have to go through the background check, right, and pay the $200 tax stamp.
$200 is always my biggest hang up.
And can you
still is.
imagine
I hate that shit.
If you didn't have to do that, I think you'll see suppressor purchases go poof. I think you'll see suppressor makers, they'll be so busy they won't even know what to do. Because it'll also bring let's face it, it'll bring the cost down. Competition is always good in any industry. I think you'll see new startups of suppressor companies. And you'll get the good with the bad, and you'll weed out the bad ones from the good ones. Everybody will know what the quality products are, and they'll buy accordingly, like any other product on the market.
So Clay, you're saying, I did forget this when I first did, when I was talking about the truth about gun story I did right away about the V. So National Shooting Sports Foundation said nearly 1 million suppressors were purchased between May 21st and January 24 of 20 and between the 23 to 24, and as part of as of June 2024, NFA, this is what I was getting to here. I don't know why the hell I read that other thing. NFA compliant cans in circulation, Clay, 4,857,897. So we're almost at 5 million, right?
Yes.
And so the one I was saying here, the nearly 1 million between May of 2023 and June of 2024. Then in the first 6 months of 2024, 1.4 million of them were registered. So, I mean, they're selling like freaking crazy. And if you get that $200 off,
that'll be great.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's people that don't believe it because there's so many conspiracy minded people now that just, for instance, let me bring this up. Dan Bongino and Kash Patel came out and said Epstein, he freaking killed himself, right? And everybody,
that's what they say.
Yeah, and everybody, that's bullshit. And I'm like, all right, so if you guys can't trust Dan Bongino, what he says, and you can't trust Kash Patel, like, you might as well fucking hang her up, because I don't know more hardcore right-wing pro-American guys who wanted the truth out than those two, right? Especially Bongino. I listened to Dan Bongino.
I did too. I mean,
I kind of agree with Bob Wheeler. I seen one of his statements. This is what I always thought. They probably had Epstein in there and said, here's all it's going to be. You can freaking kill yourself, or we're going to do it. So you make up your mind.
That could have happened. I mean, there's probably more to it. I have no doubt. But I don't know. Bongino, I listened to his show quite a bit as well. I don't know. I have a hard time believing that he'd lie about this.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if, like I said, I got to the point where I hated him telling me reality so much.
Leon said, hey, why are you bringing the party down, brother?
I'm bringing the party to reality, man. It's
all right. Well, Epstein, maybe he didn't kill himself in the fact that, like what you were just talking about. But I think there was some foul play involved. Who knows? There's other ways to kill yourself without.
I think they gave him an ultimatum.
Yes. I mean, it does happen.
All right. Anyway,
All right. Oh, Vance says, "Oh, hey, the more rights they can steal from us, the more they can sell back to us." That's right. Vance, by the way, isn't in Georgia anymore.
no, where's he at?
I believe you. Vance, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't you move to Alabama? I don't remember, but I think it was Alabama. Not far, just over the,
Man, even a more red state.
Well, I like it because, being I can't drive through Georgia anyway. We skirted Georgia, because of that whole little super speeder thing that I told them to cram it in their ass. So I literally,
Sideways.
if I got pulled over down there, I'd probably end up going to jail.
Yeah.
So we just skirted it, and then we went through Florida on the bottom end of it. But anyway, yeah. So I think, tell me if I'm wrong or right, Vance. I thought you moved over to Alabama. I don't remember. It's like your phone numbers. I got a bunch of them in my phone. I only got the one that I know works. So that's how that goes. Anyway, well, I'll tell you what. We are coming up on 20 after the hour. Why don't we take a quick break again? Thank some more sponsors, or thank our sponsors. And I don't know. I got a couple things here. I don't think we're going to get to them all. Because I don't want to go
two short
2
mag
hours.
dumps here, and I mean they're not very long. So
Yeah, I'm probably going to hit on just one of them mine and go from there. So, all right,
Well, you
we
get
will
the
be
happy ending.
right back here after a break, and we'll come back and do a few mag dumps on y'all.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber, rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy. Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
All right, we're back, and hey, there was a couple of guys was commenting here too, but I had an actual text message wondering why I can't drive through Georgia quickly. We got pulled over going 94 miles an hour outside of Atlanta. I didn't realize that the pickup I just bought had a 15 mile an hour off on my speedometer and not in my favor. Of course, I don't go the speed limit anyway. So yes, we were rolling right along, and I didn't think I was going that fast. Although we were passing everybody, and Corey and the guys had their little phones out that said, "Yep, that's what you're going." I said, "No, but my other thing says yes," because I don't trust computers. But yeah, I got pulled over. I did pay the first fine, and then I found out there was a second one, and I said, "Yeah, I ain't paying." I was home by that time. But that's a whole big story. But long story short, they can freaking pound sand. I don't give a shit. Just avoid Georgia. If I ever run for president, ought to be fun because I'm gonna have to campaign there sometime.
I eat a lot of peaches, man.
Yeah, the fruit or the women? No, anyway.
So I was, hey Clay. So everybody listening, I'll tell you, you guys on on YouTube are rock stars on hitting the like button tonight. Freaking appreciate the hell out of that. You guys are awesome. You're killing
Yes.
it.
Awesome.
Facebook, you're doing better than average. Appreciate you guys too. X, you got to step that shit up, man. We need to hit that. And I know we got a lot of you watching on X. Hit that freaking, oh, it's a love button on X. It's not a like, right? We got the love button.
That's right.
I mean, my definition of a love button ain't something on a computer, but you hit that sucker anyways.
Yeah. I got a different definition of love. Button.
Yeah, but I mean, we're kicking ass on the viewership tonight too. It's awesome. Appreciate everybody. Hey, like, subscribe, and if, like I said,
share, like, subscribe, and if you feel so inclined, go ahead and hit that little QR code. Give us a little bit of love back, and yeah, like I said, we've been doing a few things, and that's why we're able to do stuff like this. You know, this is the newest thing we had done. Horton Laser Craft did.
Man, I can't wait. Yeah, you had to focus real good there. Hold on, don't move it. There.
All right, boom.
There you go.
It is.
Nice.
You asked, there they are. So we'll figure out. By the way, like I said, when Heather gets this thing figured out on our website, so I can get logged back in, I'll get all this stuff up there. We've got these again in stock. I kind of like the rose gold, and I stayed with that. I just think they look classy. They're nicer looking, and we want to be something different. You don't see much of this out there. So there you go. That's what that is.
Anything with their logo is classy. So
that's right. I still have some of these, by the way.
Yeah, I need some more of those.
All right, there they are. Oh, they're cool.
Right there. There you go. Look at that.
Look at there, man. Woo. There you go.
Woo.
We've got, what they call that? The kids call that swag or something.
Yeah, they do.
I don't know. You know, I watch Vice Grip Garage, so just treat us like him. Just go over there and buy our merch, and we'll have a good day, right? I do like these. I know I showed you these one time. This is a prototype. There it is. They're kind of a, you know, you could put them on your hat or your, I don't know.
Yeah, the pin there. Yeah.
I think they're kind of neat. We'll decide here. They're, you know, because of the material. There you go, right there.
There you got it.
I think they look cool. We'll have to decide what we want to do there, because all of it costs money, right? So
Clay, I got to get your opinion on something real quick. You saw all the hoodlums I got out of the jail down there in Louisiana, right?
yeah.
So you saw the one guy they arrested, double murder conviction. I mean, multiple felonies outside of that. And they got him rolling up there. The media's got the whole picture with the two evil cops got him, and he's got his big Jesus necklace hanging out. I'm like, really? This guy's a freaking believer in Jesus, huh? And he murdered two people. You know, he's a big Jesus lover now, huh?
Oh, yeah, you know he is.
I mean,
right?
it's like it was almost planned. Like, let me pull my necklace out. Okay, now take a picture when they're hauling me back into the Hushko.
Yeah, it probably was planned. Hey, Brian's got a good one here. I like that idea. So I'm waiting for the Clay and JD trading cards.
I'm thinking we need some shot glasses.
Oh, there we go. I'll work on that. I would bet that Horton Lasercraft can set us up with shot glasses.
Absolutely.
You know what? I wonder if they got these kind. So it'd be pretty gold on them.
Perfect.
You know what I mean? Or we could get the clear glass ones too. But yeah, we'll work on that. I think that'd be cool. That's a good idea. So, all right. So, why don't you hit it first with one of your mag dumps?
All right, will do, Clayton. Here we go. For number one mag dump, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Governor Kevin Stitt. I mean, probably right on par with our governor as far as Second Amendment rights go, and being a gun nerd and loving guns and firearms and all that. Signed House Bill 2818 into law May 15th this year, officially enacting a sweeping update to Oklahoma's self-defense and firearms status, authored by Representative Jay Stiegel. The measure passed both chambers with broad support, 73-16 in the House and 39-7 in the Senate. Well, what bill is that, JD? Well, the new law clarifies that pointing a firearm is not unlawful when done in lawful self-defense or in defense of one's home or business. Prior to this bill, citizens who displayed or pointed the firearm, even without firing, risk criminal penalties, including misdemeanor or felony charges. And, of course, another court just passed the goddamn rule that you felons can't own guns, even if it's not a violent felony. So we still got to deal with that bullshit. So, yeah. I'm not going to read the rest of it, Clay, but I mean that's the gist of it. I think, I mean, that's common sense to me, right, Clay?
Yeah,
if somebody's threatening you, you can show them the gun and say, "I'm showing it to you now. If you keep coming, you're going to get the freaking directly end pointed at you." And I'm fairly handy with it, so this could be your final moments.
You know, a lot of great things. When I hear news out of Oklahoma on 2A stuff, man, they're just ahead of the curve, ain't they? They just do.
I mean, on most Oklahoma to me is like the reddest. I don't think they had one county vote blue.
No, they're the reddest state, I think, in the union right now. Gosh, you know, it's warmer down there. Man, we need to move down there, James.
Get down there and show though, like old what's his name said.
Yeah, guns.
Roy
and
Mercer.
It could
You
be
down there in
guns.
Shodo, right?
Shodo. How big a boy are you?
Pour a 55-gallon drum of whoop ass all over you.
You know, if that happened, you know, then it'd be guns and the OK.
Yeah.
So I had to put this up. Eric Newman's bobbleheads of Clay and JD. That'd be interesting.
That's a good idea, actually. I like that.
Bobbleheads. That would be
Trampas, he
interesting.
said, how about you come out with a line of cigars? And Deadwolf says, what version of Jesus? There's at least 10 different versions of them.
Well, there's only one in my world. So, but yeah,
Any-
cigars. There we go. We could really trigger. Then I could literally be like I said before we went on air. My formerly nicotine stained fingers, like Rush used.
I mean, I can't stand cigarette smoke, but I will admit, like every couple of years, I don't mind having a cigar.
I like a good cigar. Once I've had a good cigar matched up with the right liqueur, I'm telling you, that it is good. It really
How
is.
big an old cigar are you?
Yeah, how big a cigar you need there, lady. Anyway.
Last one I smoked there was what do you call the nomination elections there in April? I always forget what it's called.
Oh, at our
Yeah, for the state. They're
our primaries.
primaries, yeah. And
What's
Kelly
wrong
had,
with us tonight?
yeah, went to the governor's bash there, and he handed me a big. I mean, that sucker it actually tasted good. I was shocked because I'm like, I hate freaking cigars, but tell you what, I'll smoke one of them.
John, he says our bourbon and cigar can't beat it. You know,
What does he
Leon
take?
there.
They say they
Good
dip
pipe
in
or a cigar? Yep.
you dip it in cognac, but I will tell you, I had cognac, and that was the worst shit probably I ever drank. That's right up there with Kharkov vodka. Cognac sucks, and this was expensive shit.
Well, so I had some cognac when I was out on the East Coast when we were being wooed by a certain part of for the NRA.
Here come the woo.
Yeah, so we were sitting there and they were letting us buy whatever we wanted. Really expensive cognac. I mean, this was like $100 a shot stuff.
All right, a
was
little
better.
more than what the stuff I drank was, but
And me being a dumb hick, never been out that way and participated in
I
such
don't know if
high
you're a
class
dumb hick,
stuff.
but go on.
So they give me this, and it was in one of these glasses, these round ones, and to me it looked like a shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they go, well, what do you think, Clay? I'm not even trying. Well, give it a try. So I take it and throat. I just kicked her right on back and down the throat. They're like, holy crap! They're like $100 some. You're supposed to sip it and smoke your cigars. Oh, so they gave me another one, and I did the same thing.
So how did it taste, though?
Yeah, it did. Actually tasted very good. I was very surprised. I'd never had it before, and that was really good stuff.
Well, I remember we drank ours. The guy who bought it was pretty proud, and then one of the fellas in the circle, somebody's like, "That stuff ain't good." And he goes, "This is $100 bottle," and one of the guys says, "You got fucked," and his jaw dropped open. He couldn't.
I can tell you this: this was $100 for a little bitty shot, as far as I was concerned. It was so yeah.
No, 18 wheels not better than Coors Light. No way.
There we go. We can do a drinks and a 701, but make it geared towards the right liquor
Cognac?
match with a cigar. Well, there we go. Cognac.
20701. Cognac. Pinky out
How you do it?
sipping.
Yeah, there. Maybe like this.
There you go. John Regal's Alabama water is good too.
Hey, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Them boys that bring up that stuff when they come up here, that's pretty good stuff. But
I gotta have some of that.
yeah, I'm about out. I'm gonna have to go visit Whalen. See, I needed to get over to Whalen's because he's got a little bit more on hand, and I'm about out. So
2 ways. He says I like a good cognac. I guess
Yeah,
I
you
just
do.
don't have that sophisticated palate when it comes.
of course,
to
I like dark beer, and you don't either.
Oof, no, I freaking ooh.
I want to taste that hops. You know,
I like Coors Light, and a lot of people don't though. So
Yeah, I don't like to drink colored water, but anyway. All right, I'm going to bring up a mag dump that might just tweak a few people, And I don't think one has anything to do with the other, but this came up and I thought, you know what, let's do it. And the thing is, it's because you got a guy out there, Wes Seiler, he's running for the Montana Senate.
Oh, God, I read this today.
Yes.
Yeah, this joker.
Well, he thinks that basically Second Amendment groups, we ought to get on board and help out the gays and the queers and the mentally ill. Now, I don't call them the alphabet group. They're mentally ill as far as I'm concerned. So here's what he says. He goes, Trump's transgender military ban, does it conflict with 2A values? For starters, one has nothing to do with the other, right? But news to Mr. Wes Seiler. Whether you got a mental illness that way or not, because they don't define it that way yet, you may go to a dealer, fill out your 4473 and purchase a gun, and nobody's going to ask you if you're putting your wiener in a butt. Nobody's going to ask you if you're out there licking a lot of puss. They're just, they don't care, okay? You're not being, your rights are not being trampled.
We don't have to know, man. Why do we have to know?
By it. Exactly, you don't. But he tried to he tried to put them both together and basically tying it to Trump because Trump has once again enacted the ban on these kind of people. Now, here I'm going to take a little.
So
bit
wait a minute,
different
Clay. Is he running as a
sidestep on
Republican
this.
or a Democrat? I can't remember.
I didn't go look. He's got to be a Democrat.
I want to see.
but maybe he's
Go
not.
ahead. I'm going to look that because I think he's
Yeah.
running as a Republican.
He probably is. And, you know, whatever. He can run as one. I don't think he's going to do very good that way. But, hey, you know, who knows? Who knows? Yeah, go check that out. So, anyway, here's what the deal was. He tried to tie the two together. Wanted to blame Trump, evidently. So, I bet he's not a Trump fan either. Whatever. But he's basically saying that these people, they need more guns because they are one of the most oppressed people and they get, you know, more threats and more this and more that. But here's what I really thought. He thought gun groups, any gun rights organization, should speak out more forcefully on these issues because of the threat that comes to these people and the things they struggle with. One of the things he says, he goes, and this is what he said, trans individuals face a suicide risk of 19 times greater than the general population. Oh, really? And why do you think that is, Mr. Seiler? Because they got a mental problem, okay? I would actually go the other way and say maybe we shouldn't let them buy guns because they have a mental illness. We don't let mentally ill people buy guns if you have a psychiatric problem, right? So this is it's a stupid way to try and tie Trump to the gays, to the trannies, to the alphabet group, whatever, and then try and say that Second Amendment rights organizations should get on board defending them. Are you kidding me? So that's one of my mag dumps. I thought it was the dumbest thing I ever heard of. And yet it comes out of from Montana. Really?
Well, it looks like he's married, but he's got a lot of like Elton John dress up cosplay shit going on. It doesn't say what his.
Well, I see he attended a drag show.
Yeah, for whatever reason, he's all
I
about
clicked on something.
defending them like they're this oppressed folks. But
yeah, you know what? And again, one has nothing to do with the other because you can be, I guess, whatever you want to be in that world. And right now, nothing bars you if you want to go buy a firearm. You may go to a gun shop or to a gun dealer or even to a private individual if they're dumb enough to sell you one and purchase a firearm. And like I said, go to a dealer, fill out the 4473. If you pass the NICS background check, you're good to go. So what does that have to do with the Second Amendment?
And by the way, Clay, at the Republican convention last year and the other time when Trump was running in 20, he just doesn't want him in the military because he doesn't want chicks with D's going into the freaking locker room with other women, which I agree with. Other than that, Trump said you're welcome. You got the same rights we do, and you're welcome, but you're not going to take you in the military and go,
No, you're going to be there, and if you got a
we're
wiener,
not paying
you're
for
going to be a man. You're
your
going to serve as one.
transformation, and so here's what I was laughing at.
Dead Wolf, he says, get those NRA rainbow flags printed up.
Eric says,
Oh.
Coors Light, 6'5" Creedmoors, man bun, skinny pants, crossbow, they all go together. Just kidding, or am I? Oh, man. I'll put my 6'5" against any 308, I'll tell you that, and I am a 308 man.
There. David Fetty goes, can you imagine that? Referring to what we just talked about on a 4470. Do you play the meat whistle? Yes or no?
Well, they got it now. You got to go like white and then white but non-Hispanic or some shit.
Hispanic and
I'm
yeah.
like, who put this racist
Let's
shit
see.
in here?
Non-binary is still an option on the 4470. Yeah, I think I remember they added that under O'Biden. My buddy said if they check that box, we will deny them in terms of mental health. There you go. Perfect. It's already
Hair
on there.
color.
We have that on there. There
Brown, blonde, gray, pink, purple.
Oh, I'm telling you. It's just, they're not that oppressed. They actually have more rights than we do, it seems like, in some circles. But the thing is, again, we don't care. Shut up. Do your thing. Be silent and don't make me accept it.
I don't even
That's the
care if they're
problem.
not silent,
I'm
but
not
don't
gonna
just
accept your
shove it in
lifestyle.
my grill like I have to put it on a pedestal above what I am. I don't.
Well, and I do want them to be silent. Shut the hell up. Just do your thing. I don't go around going, "Hey, I'm a Homo sapien."
Man, I
hey,
tell you what I really
know,
like is
I'm
the
not
P-word.
gay.
Yeah,
As you should.
yeah. Gene,
Anyway, I had to throw that one out there because I thought it was. the
Gene
dumbest
says,
thing
like
I'd heard
history of the
today.
world, send in the exotic dancer to see who's faking. Well, yeah, they did that to.
You have to go rent that movie if you don't know.
Yeah, Colin Farrell is the. What the hell is the name of that again?
Well, I think he's talking about the one that Mel Brooks did.
Oh,
I'm
because
pretty
I know.
sure. Yeah.
Wow, Colin. Anyways, I can't think of his name right now. Pretty
Yeah.
good show, but yeah. Anyway.
Tired of these groups expecting us to pander to their
Yeah, that's what I mean. Don't make me try and
pander.
pander. If you're gonna do that, do it. But don't think I gotta kiss your ass
And there's no such thing as gender. It's sex. You're either male
right
or female. Gender was created so that they
Right.
could create this delusion.
right,
That's plain and
100%,
simple.
Clayton.
You got another
Oh
name
yeah,
dump, or should
oh
we,
yeah.
Should we roll
So you
into the
familiar
happy
with
ending chronicle?
it's spelled SCCY Sky Firearms?
Yeah, I had to go look it up, and they are right about one thing. But I'll let you tell
Became Mel
everybody
Brooks
about it.
movie, yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought that was what you were
So,
talking about. Gene.
they're
It's a
no
great
longer
movie.
in business. Its assets, including CNC machines, robo drills, injection molding machines, lathes, office equipment, 3D printers, and more, will go to the highest bidder in a sale conducted by Prestige Auction on June 24th to the 26th. That's down in Daytona Beach, Florida. Sky's been around for quite a while here. 2003, Joe Roebuck, mechanical engineer and tool maker. That's when he founded the company. And I know CPX1 was their first one coming out there. CPX2 is their most popular there. Appeared around 2005.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's what they kind of did, is like concealed carry pistols. I think we had some at the NRA banquets, actually, didn't we? Some Skies.
We did.
I
at
mean, pretty
one
much
time,
9
yeah.
millimeters and 380 compacts, and they sold them $200 to $300, really. And
Right. Yeah.
shit, we had a pretty good team going down. 140 person team was employed in Florida. He's going to expand to 200, but that never panned out. But non-courtroom financial troubles first appeared when news leaked of layoffs in early 2024, followed by reports in August that employees were notified of a halt in factory operations. The company's website remains active, although emails from Shooting Illustrated have been unreturned and phone calls go straight to voicemail. So Sky's going out of business, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pretty much out of business now.
Yep. Yeah, I did hop on their site to check it out. They are right, and the email. If you go to even sign up for, I thought I'll give it a whirl. Sign up for their email alerts. Yeah, you can't. It's there. It doesn't do anything. Hey, over there on X, everybody, awesome job tonight. We sure appreciate it. We're maintaining between 60 and 70 viewers all the time. on just X alone. So we appreciate it. Hit that like, hit that
heart,
share,
hit that heart on
take it
X.
and share in your private messages to go do it.
Clay.
Yeah, absolutely.
How the kids do it.
There's how the kids do. You know what that looks like. Oh, we're just full of shit tonight. But no, these were actually pretty good pistols.
The trigger
I remember we
sucked
shot
on
a
them
few
that I
of
didn't
them,
like.
at headquarters. They were okay, but I mean they were a good, what I would call
I mean,
a
for the price
good,
point though,
inexpensive firearm. I mean they were better than a freaking what the hell? I'm trying to, now I lost my thought on that. No, I always called them blocks. You know, if you didn't shoot them, go ahead and pick them up and hit someone with them.
Pistol whip.
Cheap ass 9mm. I know, but what were them guns? Now I can't. High points. They're better than a high point.
I mean, high points are ugly, but everyone I've ever shot ran perfect. I got to say that. I mean, they're ugly as AF, but
I stared on X. That's what did. Okay, or stayed maybe.
Well,
stayed,
so
yeah, all right. Anyway,
2A71 says straight pride, all natural. He's talking about like if we should have a straight pride. But you know what they say then? Every month is out. You guys got that every month.
Yeah, well, good. We should have it
you
every
like,
month.
You like humanity to keep going on or not?
I like John Rogo, Little Angry Man Firearms. The trigger.
Yeah, exactly, John.
The trigger was longer than the tool God gave me.
Sky's trigger sucked, man.
Tickle that little button. All right. Shirt on X. Remember old Raheem? Yeah. Isn't he in North Carolina? It seemed like he moved down there.
I knew he went to my. I don't even see him on social media anymore. So thanks for sharing, Dead Wolf.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, in fact, there's a picture of me and Raheem and the whole crew there that day when we were pushing on the Stand Your Ground bill. We were all testifying there. I think, yeah, you were in that picture too.
I'm still trying to get my heart down here.
So,
what the shit?
Yeah, I'm not even going to try.
Okay,
so
Clay, you've been calving out down there, so. All right, it's flex off.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to freaking brag a little bit. I'm like down to 212.
Looking good, buddy.
Dropping.
Keep up the good work.
You know, I meant to. You know, I wanted to go down to 2. What was my original?
Yeah, you surpassed it.
I hit that. I said, well, I'm going to 210. I've hit that, and I said 205. I'm getting close. I'm going for that, and I'm getting there. I'm getting
Careful,
there.
I just got a scale today, 195. You can surpass me.
Shit, now I got a new goal. So, but you know, I'm eating better. I'm eating healthier. Everyone said, "What are you doing?" I go, well, the biggest thing was portion control. I mean, I didn't like really cut out everything. Good. I just portion control, and we really switched what we buy. I mean, we grind our own flour. And I can tell you right now, using that to bake our breads with, we got rid of most of the refined sugars. We use honey if we need a sweetener. I mean, it's little things like that. We cut way back on our cream intake, which was just absurd anyway. We had a milk cow, so that probably helped too. It's just a lot of different things.
Awesome.
Here, so.
Now you're looking good.
All right.
Keep it up, buddy.
I'm just going to go right in.
Yes.
The
Get
Happy
it.
Ending Chronicle.
Happy Ending Chronicle.
And I like this one. It comes from Las Vegas, Sin City. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? Well, it definitely did on May 4th.
Somebody stayed there.
Definitely did. Oh, yeah. In the Canyon Gate Country Club, it definitely stayed there. Metropolitan Police received a 911 call from a woman reporting someone had broken into her home. Her husband had shot the intruder. That's what she reported. Officers responded, and they found a man. Not with just one, not two, multiple gunshot wounds. He was lying at the base of the stairs. He didn't make it far, did he? And pronounced dead at the scene. Right there. I mean, that's just heartwarming right there. Investigators later determined that the man lived nearby, less than a mile from the residence that he went into, had no known connections to the homeowners. It occurred in a gated neighborhood. I found that kind of interesting. Usually they're supposed to be pretty secure, but you know, maybe the guy lived maybe even in that neighborhood. I don't know. They were known for their upscale amenities, including a golf course and fitness facilities. You ever been to a gated community, Jamie? I mean, if walls don't work,
yeah, I can't say that I have. Actually, I mean, I've seen them, but all right. So I take that back. I was at Tahiti Village in Vegas.
Okay. Well, when I was working out in
I
Minnesota,
gotta say,
my
it was
aunt and
pretty
uncle
sweet
lived
too.
not too far
I was
from
actually
one.
so
Yeah,
I'm
and
not a
they
big
had
fan of Vegas, but Tahiti Village, and I'm like, why are we going downtown? This is the best fucking thing in Vegas I've ever seen,
this is
man.
better yet. Yeah. Well, said my aunt and uncle lived next to one, and there was some friends in there that lived in that gated community, so we could go in there and visit. And I'm telling you, it's like its own
Oh
miniature
yeah.
city within the city. It was pretty nice. Yeah. So inside the home, though, let's see. Yeah, there was the homeowner, his wife, and their 6 children. The children were 6 through 12. Family, they moved upstairs to all stay together and wait for the police. Firefighters later used a ladder to help evacuate the children from the second story, allowing them to avoid the crime scene. I don't think I would have. I think I'd have been like, kids, just walk on by that piece of crap. He's laying dead. That's what happens when you're stupid. You know, FAFO.
100%.
But nobody was harmed, so that's a good thing. Police were gathering evidence, doing a full. They're going to do a full. Anytime you use your firearm in defense, everybody always remember this. They're going to do an investigation, and it's going to be investigated as a homicide. I mean, that's just the protocol. Doesn't mean you're going to be found guilty. Doesn't even mean they're going to charge you.
I'll
But
promise
they
you
have
this:
to do that.
vast majority of police officers and law enforcement that come up on the scene will be like, "Yeah, I can tell you what happened here, and this we got to do it." But this guy probably,
Yep.
he's innocent. He did what he had to do.
Some states will arrest you, some won't. Some will just leave you on your own recognizance. But I'm telling you right now, don't be alarmed and cooperate in a situation like that,
Right.
because you did the right thing. So the case being reviewed by Clark County District Attorney's Office to determine whether the use of force was legally justified, which initial evidence suggested this was a clear-cut case. And that's probably what's going to happen. They did send a memo out to the residents by the community management company confirming the break-in and the fatal shooting. No one individuals are harmed. That community now, and they're talking about that gated community, they've increased their security residents. So I imagine they did. Their security presence probably wasn't that great with that guy getting in there. But the best part about this is you took a piece of crap guy. I imagine he had ill intent.
Oh, of
why else
course.
would you break in? You're either going to thieve, you're going to do harm. Who
No
knows what the
witnesses,
guy was
man.
gonna do. No witnesses. You are the witness. And he's assumed room temperature and no longer will be breaking
And
into
that's
anybody's house.
the
And
happiest.
That is the chronicle for tonight. Smoked like a cheap cigar, Gene says. Perfect ending. Yes.
Your comments are
Boom.
coming through too.
Oh my
I see
goodness.
them there. The heart thing.
So, hey, everybody, I got to tell you this. I'm looking at the numbers right now. And with Rumble and the other things, we're like freaking 6-7 viewers away is all to hit 100 tonight. So, hey, we're on for a little bit longer maybe, but we appreciate everybody.
Awesome.
We really do.
So Brian Warner says he thinks he
Not
was
going
born at
free.
more than 195.
I wrestled 119 for years, and then I moved up to 125 after it was after my freshman year. I guess I grew up and I bulked up, but I wasn't fat. I put on a lot of muscle mass, and I stayed at 125 from there on out. Even when I got married, I was wearing a 27-inch waist, man. I was like 125, 27 pounds.
Yep. Gotta love it.
So, I'm never going to see that again. I have no illusions, but I'm not delusional. I don't have the illusions.
You sure, Clay? You were a Democrat.
Mentally handicapped. Yeah, can't trust me.
AT Wheel says that homeowner is the new head of security.
There you go. So Friday, they got Mitchell in the Morning coming up. I'll be joining Mike Wagner.
I think it's going
don't
to
know how
pretty
it's gonna
much be
go.
solo
Jamie might be
Clay. I
with
mean,
us.
I told Clay I'll join him if I can,
Yeah.
but we're short-staffed at work.
I do know that they do take the breaks on the button especially when someone else other than Todd's doing it. So expect very long breaks in there. You're probably going to get maybe 15.
I mean, you probably won't go past
really. Who knows?
850.
No.
So what are you going to call
And
it
that's
again?
fine. I said I think I call it the GAT 701 Weekly Second Amendment Report.
I like that. I like it.
Getting you ready for a weekend of.
Ask Mike Wagner if you can do
that. Oh, there is. Kind of like a
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I just dated myself. But
Morristown, South Dakota. Yeah.
Man, South Dakota Cowboys again. Anybody that's known us, we know where that come from. That come off of Scott's show because some
Yeah,
jackweight
but
called
and
it.
Clay
But
did
anyway.
turn the guy around. He was all heated up. He was gonna rip Clay a new asshole, and by the end of the conversation, Clay was his buddy.
And
Yeah.
I took it, didn't I? I
Right away, I
stayed
thought, "Oh
quiet,
shit,
let him
Clay is
say
gonna get
his
an argument
piece.
with this guy." And yeah, you just stayed calm and
No.
flipped him. Rightfully
And
so,
then
because you were on the
talked to
right.
him, and by the end, guess what? We were good.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
I think
for
we
sure you
changed his
did.
mind. Because he'd come on
Yeah,
there
he
with guns
told.
ablazing.
Yeah, that's
literally.
yeah. He told. I ain't taking no advice from some
Brian
South
Warner.
Dakota cowboy here.
Yep. Brian Warner says Clay's AM voice. The voice of the Dakotas, 5:50 AM
It's,
KFYR.
hey, if you haven't heard Clay
I
on
can do that pretty
Friday
good,
with
too.
Todd, tune in. It's a good show. Oh, okay. I see what Leah.
287. I made some quite homophobic and disparaging comments that aren't going to. Well, it's disappointing.
I actually went on the X site and
Oh,
looked,
no.
and they weren't coming through. So
Well,
I
that
guess
just
he
sucks.
lies on his free speech as he says he is.
They'll blow their collective wads. Okay, yep, I see. Hell, they're the other color. Get a month.
Oh,
get
maybe you
hers.
can see it on your computer. I just looked at my phone. All right.
Yeah, I flipped over on X on my computer and went through some of them. Good job, Kelsey. 2A71. Speaking of that, so you had Leon on last week, and I thought it was a great show, everybody. It's actually done
It did,
very
actually.
well.
Yeah.
For viewer 100. I looked at it this morning, it was like 154 views. So, kudos to you guys. And I know you guys talked a little bit about it. You and I have talked, and I'm all for this. So I know Leon's been talking about launching a podcast. We'd love to have him do that through the GAT 701 network here.
That's
that's our
Todd
new network
Mitchell
name, right?
Brought that up to us, and
He branded
taking
that.
it.
That's all his fault. Yep. And we've got the platform, we've got everything set up. So I think it'd be a great time and a great thing, and we encourage you to do that. So talk it over with Jamie and me, and let's get this baby launched, because I think another Second Amendment based type thing like that.
Yeah. So
It'd fit right in
2A701, he loves the conspiracy stuff. So yeah, I mean, if you think
Then
I'm
go
full
for
of
it.
shit when I say believe Dan Bongino and Cash Patel, you'll love the 2A701 podcast.
Steve Bannon says there's no conspiracies. There's also no coincidence.
2A701 is just so you're properly offended.
Good deal. I never get offended.
I'm only offended by anti-second Amendment fuckers.
There you go. And I want them all. Well, we won't talk about. But hey, Friday morning, 7:15 in the Mountain Time Zone, 8:15 Central. I'll be on KFYR with Mr. Mike. What do I call him? Iron Mike or something? Mike Wagner.
He's got his own
Mike's
podcast,
a good
by
guy,
the way.
so we'll be on there. Yep, he does. He does. And we're going to talk about something. I got another great happy ending, I think, for Friday. I know I've got a lot of different subjects I was kind of floating around here. I haven't decided on them, so I'm not going to tell you all about them just yet, because I really haven't decided which ones I really want to do. But there is so much information out there right now, especially with what's going through with reconciliation. It's insane, isn't it, Jamie?
It is.
One of the things I seen was that you got the New York parks. Well, they made them all gun-free zones, and basically they're getting sued. The Second Amendment Foundation, they're challenging Connecticut. And I'm going to bring this one probably tomorrow for sure. They're going to challenge Connecticut on their under 21 handgun ban. And the reason I'm bringing that is I just did a story on that a couple weeks ago with Minnesota. Remember, that went to court, was overturned, and now if you're 21 to 18, you may have a concealed permit.
Walls didn't even try. Yeah, he didn't, or Keith Ellison didn't even try. He's like, fuck it.
Yeah, he just said the hell with it. I mean, you got knife
And that guy's
rights.
an anti-gun piece of shit. Don't kid yourself.
Exactly.
Keith Ellison, if you don't know, is Attorney General of Minnesota.
Yep. Yes. Heck, you've got down in Texas, they're having an issue with anti-knife laws, knife control. So we might talk about that. Yeah. And then you got the government. They come out and they said that they admit defeat on the forced reset trigger battle. I don't know if you guys saw that, but that's been in the news for a while, but it's been working its way through court. But I can tell you that my happy ending chronicle, this happens in Nashville. So stay tuned. It'll be.
I like that.
So anyway, that's kind of
Is
what
there
I
a
got.
guitar involved? like the
Be
honky
fun.
tonk man.
It'd be cool, wouldn't it? You know, it'd be like
Remember the honky tonk man from wrestling?
oh my
Everybody
god,
hated the guy. I loved it. I'm like, beat that son bitch with that guitar. I love it.
him and what was the guy at the 2x4? Hacksaw Jim.
Jackson
Duggan.
Jim Duggan, man.
Hey, I'm an old WWF fan, man. I loved watching that stuff. So.
Yeah, WWF, not this WWE
Yeah.
bullshit.
It was the good stuff then. I agree. It's so gay.
You guys are blasting me for doing I was just making a reference to it, man. I wasn't. Hey guys. Oh, I got it now.
Oh my god.
Now I know how to trigger these guys. I thought right wingers weren't easily triggered.
And then June, I don't know. We'll see how this is going to go. But June 2nd, we're going to be on Dakota mornings, and that might be the last one I think with Jamie possibly. And I don't know. We're doing. We've got some other things in the works here, guys. So just we'll see where we're going.
I'm not probably not even going to make that one. I told Clay because I got to use vacation to do that, and I'm just. I'm just not willing to do that anymore. Nothing personal against. I just it's my personal time, man, and I'm using it up. And
JD Swift.
I freaking hated Taylor Swift when she actually sang country. I couldn't stand her. So,
well, with that, we're right at the 2-hour mark. We're gonna call it a night. Plus, that kind of screws up the YouTube stuff. There you go, freedom, bring it on, right? Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. Go ahead and hit that QR code. Stop by the YouTube channel, subscribe, like, share, and tell your friends about it. If you feel so inclined, go ahead and hit that little membership button and give us a little love over there. So, with that, have a great Memorial Day weekend. Remember why the weekend exists. This is to honor those that have fallen, that have been protecting our country and gave the ultimate sacrifice. So remember that and have some fun and send some freedom seeds right on downrange. Right, Jamie?
Absolutely.
So everybody.
That's how the country was made.
Absolutely. Keep your powder dry. See everybody Friday morning.